I'm sure you've heard this term 100 times by now. Shiny object syndrome, SOS, or some variation of that. Is it real? Can it be cured? Well, stick with me a little longer to find out, okay? Hi, I'm Suzanne Stoddard of Legitimate Affiliate Training, and I'm here to explain what shiny object syndrome is and how to overcome it. And if you'd like to see who helped me the most, click on my link below for a wonderful online mentor. And if you want to skip ahead to the 10 tips I have for you to get over this, please check on the chapter links below. So SOS was one of my biggest struggles when I started an online business. I thought I needed to do all these different things to succeed, simply because everyone else online was doing it, or at least I thought they were. Every course seemed useful, every product or service seemed necessary, and in the end, I spent way too much money and nothing got done. Least of all, helping my visitors or making money online. I finally admitted that I suffered from shiny object syndrome. And now I want to help you avoid that pitfall, or at least help you recover from it. So what is shiny object syndrome? I first started looking for an actual definition, but it was hard to come by. It's not a real psychological condition, but it does exist. Take a look at what the Urban Dictionary has to say. First thing that came up was about a condition that causes an inability to focus on any particular person while online dating. Okay, well, I had to laugh at this one. It wasn't really what I was looking for. So let's look at another definition they had. To be driven towards shiny objects, usually related to projects, in the sense that you won't finish one project before starting a new one. Okay, that's better. It's moving from one project to another and never finishing any. In other words, it's all about distraction. It's constantly being drawn to new ideas and tools and abandoning important tasks in the process. So in this case, it's moving from one promising product to another and never sticking to your original goals. It's sort of like little kids. Well, okay, maybe sometimes some big kids too. I see this with my grandsons all the time. They play happily with a new toy until they get a new one, and then they forget the old one altogether. In the case of online marketing, it's chasing the next best option that promises you a better, quicker, and easier way to make money online. But then this is what really happens. I made this up for you to help explain, okay? Now, this is your starting point when you start your online journey and you're working towards retirement. Now, it may not be retirement for you. I picked retirement because that's what I'm relating myself to. So this is what you might imagine your journey will look like, right? You'll start your journey and you'll be ready for retirement with no hiccups. Well, this is what your journey will actually look like if you stick to it. Okay, it will have some bends and curves and a few hiccups here and there. This is what happens when you have shiny object syndrome. You're all over the place and you never get to your goal of preparing yourself for retirement. Or you can look at it this way. This is another graph I made for you to try and explain what happens. So you've set your goals and this is just your timeline. Now when you just start, you're all excited and gung-ho and you're actually making progress. And that lasts for maybe 2 weeks to a month. And then all of a sudden there's some promotion that promises you faster results. So you decide it must be true and you go and buy it and you start over. But see what happens each time you change plans? You lose everything you've gained and you restart the clock over and over again. And each time you get a little more disappointed with the promise of success that doesn't work. And then you start to lose your enthusiasm to the point where you might start to believe that internet marketing is all a sham and you quit. But now look back here. Imagine if you had stayed on this first path and not be blinded by those shiny objects. You probably would have reached your goals or have gotten much closer to them if you had stayed with this one method rather than restarting the clock and starting over and over again with every new shiny object that comes out there. So now, how does shiny object syndrome occur? When you work online day in and day out, you're continually being bombarded with content from gurus who try to convince you that they have the best, new, and exciting system that can help you achieve success, right? And because of all this distraction, all this noise, shiny object syndrome can set in. Here are 4 of the most common reasons. No experience. If you're a beginner online, or maybe not a beginner, but flailing around, not taking any definitive action, you're always looking for that next best idea that looks and sounds great. Number 2, it's on sale. Don't we all love sales? We're a very consumer-driven society, and that being said, we always love a good deal. And it's no different with these shiny objects. The initial promotion is always 80 to 90% off, right? It's only $12.95 or $19.97. The third one is FOMO. This is the fear of missing out. You're afraid you're missing out on an opportunity, and you want to join the bandwagon without considering the outcome. And the fourth is greed. As humans, we always want more, right? When you're promoted to floor manager, you want to be district manager. When you lose weight, you want a 6-pack. When you make $500, you want to make $1,000. Believe it or not, this syndrome is huge among entrepreneurs simply because they're motivated to take ideas and run with them. The downside is that they lack focus, and sometimes they're impulsive. They never complete anything. If you want to learn who's helping me focus, click on my link below. So now the question is, do you have shiny object syndrome? Let's do some self-diagnosis, okay? This isn't rocket science. It's just a 5-question checklist. Number 1, do you live the rabbit life? Are you jumping from one project to another, convinced that the next option is better, bigger than what you're currently doing? Number 2, do you have the sense of compulsion and guilt pushing you towards bright objects? Is there something out there just around the corner that you think you should be implementing? Number 3, are you easily distracted by sales ads or letters for digital products? Do you fall for all the upsells, believing they will bring success that much faster? And number 4, are you noticing the typical symptoms? For instance, do you have unused plugins, incomplete courses, software that's not even implemented yet, etc., etc.? And 5, have you made any money with any of the products you bought? Probably not. If you have at least 2 of these symptoms, there's a very good chance you're one of the millions of small business owners suffering from shiny object syndrome. Did you know that SOS can affect you in other, more serious ways? Take a look at these more serious symptoms. How is it impacting you? How close are you to your goals? Are you feeling overwhelmed at the amount of projects you're in the middle of without getting any real results? I bet you never realized how much time it takes to learn a new system or technique. You're basically resetting your clock back to 0 every time you change strategies, pushing you farther and farther from your original goals. Or how is your overall health? Shiny object syndrome and fear of missing out go hand in hand and often cause stress, fatigue, and overall sleep loss. Why? Because you're always looking for the next best thing, yet getting nowhere. Or how light is your pocketbook? I bet if you sat down and calculated all you've spent on these shiny objects, you'd realize you've spent thousands of dollars on useless junk that promised you more leads, more sales, etc. Maybe I should have put this one under overall health. I think you're about to have a mild heart attack. How's your productivity? When you've restarted the clock so many times and gotten nowhere, sure, you still notice the big next promotion that hits your inbox, but do you find your productivity level drops a little each time? Okay, so now you know what happens, why it happens, if you have it, and how it's affecting you. Now let's get to business. How to overcome it. So here are my 10 tips for overcoming shiny object syndrome. Number 1, set long-term goals for your business and focus on just one plan to start. You need to think 1, 2, even 3 years ahead. Without that all-important mindset, you're doomed to fail. Number 2, unsubscribe from all the mailing lists that don't provide at least 80% value. If all they do is send promotion after promotion, kick them to the curb. Number 3, don't spend so much time on social media. You're exposed to too many ads. And it's amazing how they always know what you're interested in. Number 4, come to realize that not every new thing or every new trend that comes along is necessarily better than what you're already doing. In fact, just because it says it's new, it isn't always so. A lot of the time, that's just a marketing tactic. Number 5, be wary of free webinars. It's usually just one long sales pitch, and then they use false scarcity to persuade you to buy. Number 6, use your common sense to see past the hype. Do you really think a product that only costs $9.95 can make you $500 a day in a week? Really? Number 7, research honest reviews. Many marketers will promote everything, even junk, just to make a few commissions. But there are a few of us out there who write honest reviews and are willing to tell you the truth. Number 8, learn to say no more often or sleep on it. This will not only help any developing addiction, but it'll give you time to assess if you actually need that product or not. And you know what? 99% of the time, you don't. Number 9, stop comparing yourself to other online businesses. There are so many factors involved that each business is unique. Just keep your head down, work hard, and you'll see success on your own timeline. Building a long-term business takes time, patience, and hard work. There are no shortcuts or shiny things that can speed things up. You need to set your long-term goals and stay focused on one method. That's the only way your business will get traction. And 10, find yourself a mentor or a coach to hold you accountable. Working online is a lonely business, but when you have someone who's been there and done all that, it not only helps your confidence, but shortens your learning curve significantly. That's what I did, and boy, did it ever make a difference. If you'd like to meet my mentor, my link below gives you the access to him, as well as the free and detailed blueprint to get started online. So if you like my video, please click like and consider subscribing to my channel. I promise to provide you with value, as well as honest product reviews. So until next time, cheers!